Happy Hump Day. We have charming Charles Trent joining us today, and just regular, ordinary Rich on the other end over here. Everybody want to give a big shout out and congratulations, English Richard, to our good friend, charming Charles over here. He's a grandfather 4 times over. So congratulations, Grandpa. We can't hear you. So that's the most intelligent thing I think I've ever heard you say. So thank you. 2 great plus ups for Charles in one day. Look out. Are you there now? Still can't hear you, brother. All right. Well, while Charles figures out how to use a microphone, we'll figure out, we'll talk a little bit about last night when we had on a young, aspiring.
I'm
going to hear you now, brother. Last night, I don't know if you had a chance. I had to fill in for Julie, and we had on Nathan Klein, a young man who's certainly going to be somebody you're hearing from quite literally, a horse race announcer, a race caller. Young man, was very articulate, funny, and he got a little close to the edge of me having to reprimand him when he started talking about old people and the typical horse player. I don't know if you saw that, Charles, or not, but it was definitely a fun show. What kind of team player are you? Come on, man. You got to help us boost those YouTube views.
Well, what is he doing? Ripping on us or what?
Oh, no. He said we were, the typical or stereotypical old cranky horse player. And I was like, yeah, you got to be careful there, buddy. You're getting a little too close to home. You know what I'm saying? And then tonight at 8:00, Julie hopefully will be back tonight. Our good friend of the show, a fantastic friend of the show, Trevor McCarthy, is going to return. He and Katie, wonderful couple, wonderful little baby that they had that we met when we were out in Saratoga last summer. Trevor's always been a big supporter, so we're a huge supporter of Trevor McCarthy as well. Glad to see him back after breaking his collarbone. Glad to see him back in the winner's circle. And tonight, they'll be back online with Sean and Julie at 8:00 tonight. If you got any questions for Trevor, make sure you follow us by hitting the subscribe button here on YouTube, the bell, so when we go live, you are notified. And, of course, you can follow us on all of our social sites. And we've been creating a little bit of a stir on our social sites lately. I mean, we're not the most controversial group. We constantly get ragged on for being homers. But we've been putting out these things called Twit Talkers, where we've kind of put some mean tweets, had some jockeys read some mean tweets and their responses. And apparently we've upset some of the mean tweeters.
Hey, so they're starting to read my tweets, huh? No, just kidding.
They're reading yours. Oh, that's you? I thought they were a little personal, Charles. I'm like, how do they know so much about me? Now I know. All right, man. Well, let's see what we know today about Gulfstream Park. That's the track we're going to go after today. I've been picking some winners lately, Charles, but I sure as hell can't put together winning tickets. I've almost had to work hard not to put together winning tickets. I've had a lot of exactas, but I play trifectas. I have a lot of pick 4s, pick 5s. I get 3 out of 4. And the ones that I win are all my top picks. So it's been driving me a little bit bananas lately. So let's see if we can fix that today. Starting off in race 1 at the Southern Florida track. It is a 5-furlong turf race claiming $3,500. And if you look at the profile of a winner for a horse that wants to win, finds the winner's circle most often at 5 furlongs. Early speed is the way with 31% going wire to wire. Post positions are mostly fair. There's a tiny discount, Charles, if you go through 4 and out, but not a deal breaker or deal maker if you're 1, 2, or 3. Of course, we always do our simulations to get a sense here. Who's going to have the lead in the early pace? 1,000 simulations, and then look for some value in the odds as well with 1,000 simulations using the speed numbers. And Charles, looks like there could be some giddy up and go when the gates open here.
Yeah, you got a lot of horses here that are wanting that lead at that quarter pole, but the main one is the 8. Looks like right around 30% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But the 5, it's going to have a say in that with around 22%. And then you got a couple others, like the 2 and the 9 and possibly even the 7 that we're going to pressure all those horses up there. So when it comes to simulation odds, it looks like the 2 is slightly an overlay, just under 12 to 1, and it's 15 to 1 morning line. We have the 3 just slightly over 5 to 1. And the morning line is 6. And then you got that 4, 2 to 1, and the morning line is 3.5 to 1.
Or in the program 7-2.
Oh,
As we like to do too here as well, we want to get a sense of what the race will look like when the gates open, where the value might be. We also want to get an idea of how horses like to run when they win. It's our way to the winner's circle worksheet. If you're new, E are wire to wire types. Of course, these are maidens. So are these maidens? Is that right?
no.
Oh, no. Okay, they're not maidens. All right, so good. I wanted to make sure I got that right because usually I put arrows and stuff on there. So E are the ones that win going wire to wire. EP types can go wire to wire or sit right on the tail of the leaders. Pressure types, they like to sit right off the lead, but they don't close. PCs are your most versatile. They can literally be anywhere on this graph. And then the Cs are your closers. The squared off ones are the ones that recently have showed the most early speed. The 9-horse, being a closer back here, usually has enough early pace to be involved. So if it got some late legs in here, could have a shot to be near the front from beginning to end. Then you have the 4-horse back here with the most late speed. And if you combine the early speed and late speed, has a 6-point advantage over the next group. So this one should run the most complete race. Who's going to run into the winner's circle, Charles?
Well, I mean, I think this race is pretty tough overall. I'm going to take one of the speed horses as my top pick, the 5. This horse will definitely be up there. Will he be first? I don't know at the quarter pole, but if he's not, he'll be right there, second or third. He ran second last time out. This is his second start after a layoff. He got Paco aboard, so he's going to be tough. The other speed horse, which would be the 7 for me, is my second choice. This horse most likely would probably be sitting third, but he's second start after a layoff also. The trainer gets 18% overall. You get Irad aboard. And then the 3-horse is my third choice here. This horse does have some of that tactical speed, so he could sit off and try to pounce at the end because we got so much speed at the front. That might be a good thing. The trainer gets 21%, his second start after a layoff, and you get Tyler aboard that horse. And then my price horse here is that 4. Not much of a price overall, but ran a second last time out. This is my favorite angle, third start after a layoff. And Jose stays on, so that's a good sign for this horse.
In race number 1, I'm going to start off with the 8-horse, one that you don't even have. So I just further proof that Charles is in my computer. You'll see that later on. Discreet Tune, and maybe Luis Saez tipped his hand here because he's going to ride this one instead of the 1-horse. Number 2, XY Speed, definitely has a ton of back class. And you got a feeling that Chantel Sutherland will push this horse forward. And when you look at the past performances for XY Speed, he does his best work when he's close to the lead. Number 7, Silent Flash, ran some hot fractions in the first race off of the bench after 5 months in the barn. So I think maybe you'll see the hold the speed longer here today. And closing it out with your top pick is my 4th pick. Silarde did tie for the top last race speed figure. And when you look at the horse at the distance, has tried it 8 times, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3. That's 7 out of 8 or 87.5% if my math is correct. And the resume says there's a very good chance that this one will be better in the second race after a layoff. Charles, you're coming out of the box hoping to get a huge hit with the pick 5.
Yeah, I'm swinging for the fences again today. Well, I only found one, basically maybe 2 horses that I really felt very comfortable with. The rest I thought were pretty wide open contests. So I'm going to start with my top 4 picks in this first race, and then top 2 picks in the my second leg, third leg. There's a single there. Fourth leg and fifth leg is top 2 picks.
2 by 2. I'm going to go with my trifecta. I got some good prices and I think decent value in this race. So we'll see. Hopefully get off to a hot start. If this one hits, it's a good chance to pay for the whole day as we have a $100 challenge. We both have a $100 budget, and then we go out and try to make it last. For me, 2, 7, 8, over to 2, 8, over to 2, 5, 7, and 8 in race number 1. In race number 2, the horses are going to run a 7-furlong affair on the maiden claiming side for $35,000. The purse is indeed $35,000 as well. 7-furlong profile of a winner favors horses with early speed. 27% of the horses go from gate to wire out on the front. There is an outside to inside bias in here. We got a couple of first-time starters in here, Charles. So the 1 and the 2, those numbers are based on the averages of the other horses. So if they just run the average race, that's what you're going to see from them. But based upon the experienced horses, looks like there's another trio in here that want to kick up some dirt when the gates open.
Yeah, you got that 4 horse that definitely wants the lead he's got a 31% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. And then you got the 8, 23% chance to having that lead. But like you said, this is a maiden race, so we don't know what to expect from the first time starters, but this is a good indication who really will be trying. And I think that 4 will definitely be trying for that lead. And then simulation odds. Well, it looks like, I guess, just the 8, huh?
Again, because you don't know what the 1 and the 2 are bringing to the table. So those zeros throw everything off a little bit.
So even money, and it's 4-1 at morning line is your only overlay in this race.
Yeah, it just, again, the race shape here, this one is the maiden. That's why you see the arrows up and down. So the 4 horse moving up in class, I believe from experience, the maiden moves are the most important. The 6 horse here, the experienced horse, down in class, recently showing the most early speed, a pressure type horse. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one close to the front. The 8 horse also has a little bit of a late speed in here, and the second best combination of early speed and late speed. And again, the 2 and the 1, no idea what they're going to bring to the 4, but I suspect you'll see one, if not both, factor when they hit the tape. Charles, well, what do you see happening?
Yeah, I'm going to go with experience as my top pick, which would be the 4. This horse most likely will have the lead at the quarter pole. Ran second last time out. This is his second start after a layoff, the second time with Lasix, which I do like that angle a lot. So,
I think Jose Ortiz, actually, when we had him on the Horse Center show, he mentioned that he was a bigger favorite of horses on the second time Lasix too.
Yeah, it just seems like they get calm a little bit better too, also on that aspect. And then I'm going to go with those 2 first timers. And that's first, the 1 horse as my second pick. This horse is bred very well. Solid works. Trainer gets 18% with first timers, and you get Irad aboard. So not a bad, all that combination there is not bad at all.
No,
and then the 2 horse is my third choice. You got another solid work tab. The trainer gets 22% when he puts them in maiden claiming. So that's where we're at today. So, and then my price horse will be the 6. Not much of a price horse, but this horse does figure in here with a drop in class. He adds blinkers, and it's his second time with Lasix. So, it's going to be an interesting race overall, I think.
Yeah, when I do these races with some first-time starters, I usually bucket them up. I put all the experienced ones in one and all the first-timers in another. And I decided to go with the first 2 picks being the experienced horses. Federline, this one is actually a maiden special weight dropper. So many folks say that's the biggest drop in horse racing. And then also on top of that had the top last race speed figure. So a lot of times you see horses drop like that. Those numbers actually go up against lighter competition. We'll see if Federline can get the job done today. 4-5, 9-2, I'll take those odds. Number 8, turn on the charm, Charles. Probably good advice for you. First off the claim for trainer Claudio Gonzalez, who wins at 26% first off the claim. And then when he has horses running in the maiden claiming ranks, wins at 27%. Both of those are alpha angles for Claudio. And then the 2 first-time starters. The 1 horse I know with Irad in there, morning line 5-2. When you put Irad with trainer Rohan Crichton, they win at 42%. So big numbers right in there. So over it, decent work, staying on schedule for his debut. I just was not overly impressed with the workouts with either one of them. They are average workouts, and they're debuting in the maiden claiming ranks. So that's why I went with the experienced horses over the inexperienced horses. The 2 of them can beat me. That's why in my pick 4, I have all my four picks to get it cracking. Then I'm going to single up the 5 in the next race at a decent price too. The 2, 5, 6, and 7, and then the 2 and 8 on the back end. So a little bit of foreshadowing for me in race number 3. And in race number 3, Charles, this time around, These horses are going to run 1 mile and 70 yards on your favorite course in the planet, that all-weather Tapeta course down there at Gulfstream Park, claiming 35,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse is 36 grand. Mr. Charles, good morning. Melvin, how are you today? In race number 1, like Charles, Melvin, he has just picked 5. 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. So expecting a pretty competitive opening race. I agree with you. The 1 horse in race number 2, that was the first-time starter, if I remember, right, with Irad. Going to single up to 6 in race number 3. So a lot of singles for Melvin today, liking some horses, leaning on him heavily. Race 4, the 2, and the 5. And then in race 5, to close it out, the 1, the 2, the 8, and the 10. If, like Melvin, you have some ideas you want to share, be it at Gulfstream Park or any other track that's running today, hit us up in the comments section. You have any handicapping questions? You have any trainer questions for Charles? As you know, Charles was once a trainer. He's also looking to get into the bloodstock business. So if you have any pedigree type questions for Charles, let them fly, folks. This is a community. We're all here to learn. Back to race number 3, 1 mile and 70-yard profile of a winner on that Tapeta course. There really is not an advantage to any particular running style, close to 50-50 between those that want to be up in the front and those that want to be in the middle back. Maybe you don't want to be on the lead because only 11% go wire to wire, and you don't get an advantage regardless of post positions because they play relatively fair. So in race 3, Charles, we do have our first scratch. I believe in magic. That's how Charles does his picks. I believe in the magic 8-ball. Other than that, my man, what is the simulator telling you now that that 1 is out, that no one's going to catch that 7?
Well, my magic 8-ball says the 7 is going to be out there out front winging it, flying at 25% or 26%. And with the 1 being scratched, which was his main competition, those chances spread out with all the other horses. So the 7th probably got more like closer to 40% probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you look there on all of them, every single one of them does have at least minus the 6 horse a shot to be on the lead. Yep.
Yeah, and they all do have some speed of some sort. And then when it comes to simulation odds, we have that 3 horse slightly over 6-1, and that morning line is 10-1. That's a nice little overlay. And then you got the 5, slightly over 4-1. You got 8-1 morning line, and then the same thing with that 7, slightly over 4-1. You got 8-1 morning line. So couple of nice overlays in this one.
Well, looking at the odds in this race from the simulator, what it tells me is anybody could win this race. I don't think I've ever seen one where everybody's been at least almost 4.5, 9-2-1 and up since we've been doing this. That's a pretty interesting take to me. I'm curious to see how that race does indeed play out. The 1 is scratched in here, and we have an interesting race shape in here because none of these horses have ever shown that they really want to be forwardly placed, at least pulling the cart. And all of them have similar early pace numbers. So all of these horses could be bunched up. Charles, recency says that the 7, the 2, the 3, and the 5, again, all but the 4 and the 6, they all have pretty similar early speed coming out of the gates. If you're looking for the speed of the speed or the one with the most late legs, that might be the 5 or the 2. So I think this race, Charles, is up for grabs. What do you say?
Yeah, but, I'm going to lean towards a little bit more on that 4. The 4 here ran 3rd last time out. He drops in class today also. He does have that tactical speed. He doesn't have to have that lead. It even shows on our leaderboard. He's got 11% chance there. So it really doesn't matter to him as long as he's within striking distance, probably at the end for him. And then the 6 horse is the same way, I believe. This horse ran 2nd last time. This is 3rd start after a layoff. My favorite angle, of course. The trainer gets also 25% at that for that same angle. So he likes it apparently. And second time on with blinkers on. So that first race, it probably did some, with the blinkers, it probably shows you what he's going to do. And then now the 2 horse is my 3rd choice. This one has some tactical speed, drops in class today, gets Tyler. And then my price horse will be that 7. Another one of those horses that should be on the lead. Trainer gets 14% when he goes from turf to all weather.
And you're going to do ice cold exacta 4-6. Nice.
That's
Charles.
Right. Just ice cold.
Yes, indeed. I don't even have the you don't have the 5, my top pick in here. High vibes. I actually singled this 5 at 8-1 morning line in my pick 4, if I remember correctly. Let's go back. Did I single the 5 in my pick 4? Yes, indeed, I did. I was a little bit nutty with this high vibes. This one should be in this race. It should be close to the front and has the most late pace. And if it can run the right fractions, in my opinion, at 8-1, the second longest shot on the board has a really good chance to win. Why not? Number 6, Built Different, tied for the top last race speed figure. And it is Charles's favorite angle. It's also Melvin's single here as well. That's 6 horse. And the only other time this horse made it to a 3-race cycle, the 3rd race in that cycle, was the best of the bunch. Number 4, Ziz Is It, I guess. Second by a nose, the last time this horse ran at this level. And then finally, number 7, Lamasco did run some better fractions last out, especially since it improved through the first half mile in terms of its pace numbers. I'm going to do a trifecta here with the 4, 5, 6, with the 5, 6, with the 3, 4, 5, 6 in 7, just in case that 5 does not win as my solo in my pick 4, which brings us to race number 4. And in race number 4, they're going to run 7 furlongs again, Charles. This time, again, it is on the regular dirt course at 7 furlongs. Speed, as we mentioned earlier, 27%, go wire to wire. You do have an outside in post position bias in this claiming $6,250 non-winner of 2 lifetime purse of 19 grand. In race number 4, we have one scratch, Hunter, out looking for his laptop. In any case, just a little bit of political humor there, folks. What do you see here in terms of early speed, Charles?
Well, it's probably between 2 horses, the 1 and the 3. They both have about the same percentage, 33% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. So I think those 2 will be out there really winging it and trying to get that lead. Excuse me. And then when it comes to simulation odds, you got the 2 slightly, just barely over 2-1, 2-1, and the simulation odds is 3.5. And then you got the 5 slightly over even money. You got 3-1 at morning line. So those are a couple of nice overlays.
Yeah, in light of the Drum and Drummer name for the horse there, I decided to go with the Dumb and Dumber hairdo today. I just forgot to put a little gel in it. It just came straight down. They got that Jim Carrey look for them.
I like it a lot.
You want to hear something annoying? Listen to Charles. Oh, bang. You just set yourself up for that one. All right. In any case.
So you're saying there is a chance. All right.
Yes, indeed there is. You might pick a winner today. Wow. All right. You should know better than to open them doors. All right, Charles. The 8 is out of here, and this is a pretty evenly matched race. Looking at the 6 horse in race number 4, this one has a lot of early speed, especially through the first quarter of a mile over the rest of this group. But oddly, the 1 horse, which is typically a closer, when you go to the 4 furlong marker, it has a 6-point advantage there. So the 6 might go out, then the 1 rush up and run right by them. And then you have all these right here in the middle. I would say, from seeing this sort of race shape or picture before, I would look for the winner most likely to come from the 6 or the 1 or the 4. It may not work out that way, Charles, but a lot of times that's how I see it play out. Tell us how you see it playing out.
Well, all 4 of my picks are in that P column, your pace column. So the 2 horse is my top choice here. This horse drops in class today. The trainer gets 26% when he drops them down 2 levels or more. And then, of course, you got Luis Saez aboard, so that's a huge plus. The 5 horse here is my second choice. He ran second last time out. He's got some of that tactical speed. He can sit pretty close to those 2 leaders out there. Irad's aboard. And then got the 7 horse is my third choice. He's one of them that could be another one that could be sitting real close to those leaders. He was well bet last time out, claimed last time out, so you got some pluses for this horse. And then the 3 is my price horse here. This horse drops in class, tries the dirt. Hess gets 31% when he drops them down 2 or more drops in level. So you got a really nice price horse there, I think. So I would not leave that horse out on any exotics whatsoever.
So the 6 horse for me is my top pick here. Unlonely. So last time out was the first race in almost 2 years, and it was bad, really bad. and then it had a pretty bad workout since. And so then I look and I see, okay, Tyler Gaffalione is getting on this horse. And I don't think there's any jockey right now in the country who's any hotter than Tyler Gaffalione. And he's getting on this horse in the middle of a hot streak that looks like nothing in the opener since a year and a half on the bench. And then 7 out of 7, the slowest workout. So what in the world is Tyler doing getting on this horse, Charles? Answer that question for me, because it does not make sense. The hottest jockey in the planet is going to get on a horse that just does look like it has a chance.
Well, you never know. I mean, he could have a relationship with the owner, because sometimes they could be best of friends and stuff. So he's doing him a favor. It could be a trainer favor. I mean, it could be a million other reasons. Doesn't mean that he's super in love with the horse or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it is
something's up to me, Charles. I really think something's up there for sure. That just caught my eye. I'm like, you remember that old Sesame Street thing? They'd show like 3 red things in a yellow one and say something doesn't belong here. Mm-hmm. And Charles, of course, would pick the 3 red ones. But for me, I look at it and I say to myself, something doesn't fit. They're putting on the good jockey. There's some unpublished works there, just a gut feeling that the horse has done, and it's sharp. That's just a gut feeling. I could be wrong, completely wrong. And that's the odds makers think I'm completely wrong at 8-1, and the simulator thinks I'm completely wrong. We'll find out. Number 2, Mopped, Dennis. I'm going to go with Mopped. This guy's moving down multiple classes, Charles, and it's a 26% angle for trainer Jeremiah Engelhardt, taking his barn from New York, Finger Lakes, down to Gulfstream Park. Number 5, Drum and Drummer, again, in honor of my haircut today. Top last race speed figure. Simulator says you got to have this one, and it is the one to beat, according to the sim. Number 7, Allagash Run, stopped as the 9-5 favorite in its last. Although when you look at the first half of the race, it was the best first half that he's put together. So let's see if he can hold on to it longer in the second start off the layoff. I'm going to go with a 50-cent trifecta here with the 6, 2, and 5, with the 2 and the 6, with the 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. And let's see if that Tyler hunch pays off for me today, Charles. It just looked really odd to me, completely odd to me, to see, again, Tyler, who's winning as much as anybody, get on a horse that doesn't make any sense. Watch out for the 7.
I'm going to do my second pick 5 in this race.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Charles. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm taking my top 3 picks, and I'm going to go with my top 3 picks, and then I'm going to go with my top 4 picks. I'm singling the third leg, and then I'm going top 4 picks again, and then I'll single the last leg of that pick 5.
That last leg, that's a pretty cojones single right there, my man. I thought that race was pretty wide open.
No, because it's got your favorite pants.
Pink party pants?
That's right.
No, mine are red, compliments of Cece Perkinson. She sent them to me because I said when she's down there at Turf Paradise wearing those red pants, her horse is going to win. Any other color, yeah, maybe it finishes in the money, but for sure, CC wears red, horse is going to the winner's circle. Let's figure out which horse is going to go to the winner's circle in race number 5 at Gulfstream Park today. 1 1/16 miles on the turf, claiming $20,000. The purse is $28,000. Not sure which trainers are going to wear red pants down there for this race, Charles, but I do know that 1 1/16 on the turf, there is not a running style bias. You can win from anywhere on the track. You could be first when the gates open or last, and you still got a shot to win. 12% go wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias, particularly strong on the rail for Radiant Gem. And then everything else from 4 and out still plays pretty close to fair, a little bit under par, but again, not a deal breaker by any sense of the imagination. In race number 5, our simulator points to a couple of horses again in this deep field that want to go to the front, and then maybe a few nice little overlays as well.
Yeah, you got the 7, 37% chance of wanting that lead, but then you also have that 11 at 30% chance wanting that lead. So those 2 should be really out there pushing it. You might have the 5 pushing them along, but simulation odds, we have, let's look at this. We have the 4, slightly under 9-1. Yeah. Morning line is 20-1. And then we have that 7, one of the speed horses, at slightly under 12-1, and the morning line is 30-1.
Ooh.
And then you got that other speed horse, that 11, 4-1, and the morning line is 8-1.
Yes, Pete Aiello, line maker, giving us a couple of options there where we can make a little bit of money. Thank you, Pete. Fantastic guy, too. If you're ever down in Gulfstream Park, try to catch up with Pete, give him a high five and say hi. Really, really good guy. In race 5, our way to the winner's circle worksheet shows us all but the 1, the 4, and the 6. So except this guy, and this guy, everybody else has some similar early speed. So this race should be one where they're pretty packed up when the gates open. Although the 7 and the 5, they stand out here alone because both of these two can go on the lead. Well, particularly the 5 can be on the lead or sit right off in the shadows. The 7 could break to the front, be the leader. And, sometimes those horses, when they break to the top, they can get courageous. However, this 2 horse right here has a plus 8-point late pace advantage. Going to be close to the 7 to 5 or whoever takes the lead. And then when you put together early speed and late speed, there's that double-digit advantage over everybody else. When you hit those double digits, Charlie, do people call you Charlie too or no?
No.
Okay, Charlie. There we go, Charles. When you get those double digits, sometimes those horses are very difficult to beat. Got to have them in your picks, and you do as at your 3rd spot.
Yeah, I mean, this race, I really think is wide open personally. So that's why I'm playing a pick 4 here, and I hit the all button here. And on my pick 5,
this is a good one to do it. The last time you did one like this with a deep field, though, Charles, tell everybody what happened.
I think everyone kind of knows, probably, and they didn't even watch the show. The favorite one,
like 4 to 5.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the funniest thing ever?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I had tears rolling down my eyes when we did that at Turf.
I mean, when I did my pick 5-2 here, I did my top 4 picks. But I mean, yeah, I think it's a wide open race. Yeah, I hit that all button. Man, I cringe because of that every time, it seems like. So the 6 is my top choice, though. This horse drops in class today. If you toss out his last race, it puts him right there. He cuts back in distance. It's his 3rd start after a layoff. So I think this horse would be a little tough here. The 8 definitely was well. He drops in class. He was bet well last time. He's going to be tough here. This is his 2nd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 22% overall, and the 2 horse is my 3rd choice here. Ran 3rd last time out. Trainer gets 27%. First after the claim, you got Irad aboard, and then my price horse here is the 1. Ran 2nd last time, claim last time. They add the blinkers today, so they're looking for some other things. But you know what? Overall, I mean, this is a very tough race, and I could make an argument for the 10, the 11 also. So it's really wide open.
Yeah, I'll make the argument for the 10 and the 11 in just a minute. French Frank, to me, is the one to beat, and here has that 10-point early speed, late speed advantage over everybody else. Small Z pattern, so the early pace numbers are here, the mid pace numbers drop, but then there was a big bang in the late pace numbers last time out. So maybe French Frank can carry that momentum into today. The number 8, Spectacular Girl, should be as good. The resume says a good chance to be better in the 2nd start off the sidelines. Number 11, Boston Princess, tied for the top last race speed figure and did so with better in-race numbers from the beginning to the middle to the end of that spot. So let's see if the improvement can continue. The horse that should be close to the front. Finally, number 10, Golden Voice, a very consistent performer, moving down in class after upping its speed figures in the last couple of races. I'm going to do a pick 4. I know you think this race is wide open, Charles. I really think it comes down to the 2 favorites, the 2 and the 8, and then the 1, 2 in the next leg, and then the 1, 2, 3, 10, and the 1, 2, 9, and 10 in the back end of that pick 4 for me. So 2 by 2 by 4 by 4, and that'll take us off to race number. Oh, you hold on, Charles. We got to go back to your pick 5. I keep thinking you did it. I know you started with the all button.
I didn't pick 4, but I hit the all button, and I got a single in the next race. So there's your indication of who I really like. And then I go with my top 3 in the 3rd leg, and then I'm going the top 2 in the final leg, throwing a little, maybe if something happens with your hot pink party pants.
My hot pink party pants. Yes, I will have them on when we get together next. Race 6, we got a few scratches in there that are going to impact, I think, the outcome of the race, perhaps a little bit, maybe not a whole lot, but certainly taking 2 horses out, shortening up the 7 furlong optional, claiming $32,000 field for the purse of 35 grand. At 7 furlongs, as we spoke earlier, does favor early speed. 27% of the horses lead from gate to wire. Outside posts do better than inside posts. Charles, I know you said you're going to single up the 5 here. It has an 80% chance to be on the lead.
Yeah.
Fire away.
That's it. He'll be on the lead and bye. It's bye to everybody, I think. And so it's his race to lose, basically, in my opinion. And then when it comes to simulation odds, you got the 1 slightly over 2-1, morning lines 3-1, and then you go all the way down to, well, even the 5. You know, he's under even money and he's slightly over even. So let's just put it this way. Let's hope we get even money in this race. And that's it.
Hold on one second here, Charles. I want to see if I screwed something up. I did not. The 5 horse in race. Oh, we're in race number 6, right? I did screw something up. All right. I screwed myself up in here. I accidentally X'd out the 5 on my picks instead of the 6.
Oh.
In my, what was it? Anyway, so be it. Let's move, because I have the 5 here in my, so I'm going to go back here and change this to my pick 4. This is going to be, I put the 2 in there instead of the 5.
Okay.
And I don't have the 5 nixed out of there. So let me just go back and get that right. So I have the 5 and the 1, right? Yes, indeed. So I can't read my own damn handwriting, Charles. What can I say? It's a bad place to be. So that's the 1 and the 5 for me there in that race.
Okay.
I was going to say, well, what did I do? How come I don't have the 5 in my pick 4? Now that makes sense to me because I'm stupid. That's why I wore the Dumb and Dumber haircut today, Charles. All right. So as we go on to race number 6, it is the 7 and the 6 that are sidelined in here today. That means the other speed that was going to challenge the 5, he ain't going to be around today. So this 5 horse is going to have the most early speed. It has a +6 advantage through the first half mile. So with 3 furlongs to go, he should be the one that they all have to run down. Does have the 3rd best late speed as well. I agree with you, Charles. 5 horses race to win. Somebody's going to have to beat him because he's going to be the one up front. You don't think anybody has a chance?
No, I like I said, I singled them on my pick 5s, my pick 4s, and now I got a pick 3 because I went single here. I hit that all button in that second leg, and then I did the top 2 picks in the final leg, hoping for a price in that middle part. And then I got a win bet on the 5, which is the last $15 that I have left over.
All right. So I like the 5 horse here too, Charles. Absolute grit. Faster Fractions in the last. Did make a huge mid move. Similar move coming out of the turn today. Should put a horse that's already on the front, maybe extend its lead a little bit as it heads down into the stretch. Horse has 2 wins and a 3rd the last 3 times that I read Ortiz was the jockey. Number 1, Celestial Gaze is the next one for me. Did run the top last race, speed figure, dropping in class, coming off of a peak speed number. But I look back to see what happened the last time the horse peaked. You know, it had like boom, boom, bang. And the last time it went boom, boom, bang, it went boom, boom, bang, bang. So I'm hoping for the bang here again. And so we can see a little bit better effort. Number 2, Sensei Lawrence, 2 consecutive speed figure increases and did do so with a little bit faster fractions. Another one that ran a peak number last time out, but unlike the 1 horse, its record's a little bit spotty after it peaks. One time it kind of just regressed a little bit, and the other time it regressed a lot. And then finally, number 3, Universal Payday absolutely has the back class. Tyler Gaffalione getting on this horse in the first off of the claim. I'm going to do a 50-cent superfecta here, Charles. I think the 1 and the 5 are the 2 best horses. They'll come in 1, 2 in some order, and then go all on the back end for 60 cents and see if maybe I can turn $6 into $12. Like Terry says, where else can you double your money in a minute and a half?
That's right. And you know what, everybody? Rich was in my computer. Look at it. He just copied it 100%.
Exactly.
1,000%.
Even the same bets.
I would have gone ice cold, though. See, I would have done a superfecta ice cold.
So do one then. I'll give you a dime. So you're going to go 5, 1, 2, 3 ice cold for a dime?
Yeah.
All right. So Charles gets 5, 1, 2, 3 for a dime. Put that down on the board. Terry, if he goes over by a dime, be mad at him, not me. All
All
right, race number 7 is the next race, that the second to last race on this only a 8 race card. 1 mile on the turf, optional claiming 25,000. The purse, ooh, nice purse here, Charles, $86,000. So it's a pretty good purse for today for a optional claiming 2,500 type in there. 1 mile on the turf does favor horses that have a little bit. Well, there's really nothing. There's no advantage anywhere, Charles, because 50-50 in terms of running style, although 24%, so almost 1 out of 4 do go wire to wire. So if you're going to be up front, you probably want to be first. It really doesn't matter what post position that you break from. If you want to be first in this race with 4 scratches, well, there's only one that's going to be first.
Well, yeah. It looks like the one horse has got an 89% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. The question is, can he hang on at the end is more of the question. I'll give him a 50-50 shot on that, on hanging on at the end. But
well, if you just do the math, so let's just say, because you have this other horse scratching out of here too with the 6%.
Yeah.
And then the other, so let's just say there's another 7% to be had. Nick gobbles up half of that. Let's say he's got a 90% chance to be on the lead, right?
Right.
And if 24% or 25% of the horses end up, so let's do the math here real quick. So 90 times 24%. So 0.9 times 0.24. That means that this horse has a 21, almost a 22% chance to go wire to wire in this race. So at odds of, say, 4-1 or 5-1 or higher, that horse is a good value. So if the horse, just on odds alone, say it goes off at 5-1, because it has a little bit better than 21% chance to go wire to wire just from the straight math, you almost have to bet it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be smart to at least have it in some of your picks somehow. But I believe it's a 2-horse race other than that. But when it comes to simulation odds, not much there. Well, everything's been scratched. It had something. It looks like the 10. A horse slightly over 2-1, and you got 4-1 morning line on that. So that might be your overlay there. Mm-hmm. So
Terry says he's going to flip you the dime, brother. So you're good to go for that dime. Make sure you put that in his picks there, Terry. For the second to last time today, as we look at the race shape here, the 5 is out, the 7, the 9 are out, the 4 is out, and the 8 is out. I don't think the 7 was out, right? No, the 7 is not out, I don't think.
No.
So just a very bad handwriting once again for me. The 5 out, the 9 out, the 4, and the 8. So taking more of the closers out than anything else. The one horse it actually has an incredible early speed advantage. It has 10-point early speed advantage, Charles, through the first quarter of a mile. That number extends out to 12 through the first half mile. I wouldn't be surprised if that horse is 3, 4, 5 lengths in front of everybody else at the quarter mile marker. Question is, can it hang on? I think the 2-horse might hug it, and it has a +6 late pace advantage. If it can go out like in 50 seconds through the opening half, you'll be able to chase it down. I didn't make it my top pick because I don't think it'll get away that easy, because other trainers are going to see the same thing we see. Somebody will send with it, Charles. How do you see it when it's over?
Well, someone will send with it, but I don't know if they would want to, tangle with it. Like, I think they'll want to sit right on it, but not next to it. The 10 is my top choice here. I think it's got a lot of things going for this. This horse does have that tactical speed. This horse would be one of them that would be sitting real close. So, he might be the one that might take over at right around the half-mile pole, maybe a little bit after that. Well, he won his last time out. The trainer gets 50% after a drop after a win. So that's what we got going on with this horse, and I think that's a big plus in this race. The 2 is my second choice here. He won last time out, bred very well. Danny Gargan gets 27% when he brings them back after 90-plus days. So he always brings them back fit and ready to rock and roll. And then my third choice will be that 1. Definitely has the speed, as we've been talking about. But you got to toss that last race, because if you go off of that last race, this horse doesn't have a chance. But you toss that last race, he's right there in the thick of things. Got Paco aboard. That's a dangerous jockey with speed. And then the 11 horse is my final price horse. This horse is another one that has some of that tactical speed to sit close. And the second start after a layoff, and the trainer gets 19% doing that same angle, and you get Tyler aboard.
All right. So the race number 7 for me, and then we'll quickly jump over to the results at race number 1. I like James Aliusi or whatever. This one looks like a very versatile horse based upon its first 2 races. In its debut, it tried to close and just missed. And then in race number 2, it won by pressing the lead. So I like those versatile horses. Terry likes them too. The 10 horse, your top choice, my second choice, did run the top last race. Speed figure, going to move down in class off of the win. And trainer Safi Joseph Jr. always want to put Joseph first. He's won 4 of 8 with that move coming down off of the win. And it was also the 3rd race in the cycle. And the only other time that this horse, the other 2 times that the 10 horse made it 3 races without going to the barn, those 3rd races were the best of the group. Number 3, Lord of War, was always very well bet at Woodbine. Missed by a length in the last race right here at Gulfstream Park. I think this one's ready to go because they switched jockeys to Irad today. And then finally, the 1 horse, Not Far Now. It does that enormous early speed edge. Usually hits the board when it has the lead at the half-mile mark, and I don't have any doubt that it's going to have the lead at the half-mile marker. The only question is how fast is it going to have to go there? I'm going to do a double. I think the next 2 races are wide open. 1, 2, 3, and 10. With the 1, 2, 9, and 10, maybe can go 8-1, 8-1, and get a nice payout there. In race number 1, Charles, it is over, and the 7 horse was your winner. I had the trifecta again, just not putting the horses in the right order. It went 7, 5, 2, and 8. So I had the right 4 horses, just not in the right order today. And the sad thing is the 2 got beat at the end by the 5. Otherwise, I would have had the trifecta, man. So it just drives me bananas, dude. But there you go. 7 at 4-1. The 5 at 9-2. So you had the exacta right there, Charles, up top. I wish I would have had that order. Then the 2 horse at 14-1 finished 3rd. And then the 8 horse, Discreet Tune, finished 4th.
Well, I haven't posted prices yet. Pick 5 there, it looks like.
Yeah, you did start it off with a decent price too at 7. The 7 horse at 4-1. So congratulations. It would have been better off if the 5 horse had gotten them. But Silent Flash with Irad starting the day with a win, and I think it's another one of those days where you can see a lot of Irad wins. Final race of the day, Charles, is race number 9. Oh, excuse me, race number 8. It usually does follow 7, right? That's how that works. Right. Learning that somewhere along the line in school. Forgot it by now. This one's 5 furlongs, so a real quick sprint on the all-weather. It is a maiden claiming $16,000 for a purse of $24,000. We have not talked about the style that typically wins at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, and that favors early speed with 34%. When the gates open, they lead, and when they get to the wire, they still lead. So 34% wire to wire. Small rail penalty for Lady Petal. Everything else plays fair, Charles. For the last time today, what do you see in terms of our simulations?
Well, your pink party pants has got the 47% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. And I think that's what's going to happen. And it's basically she's going to say goodbye to everybody at the one point. But the 9 might have something to say about that, right around close to 40% chance of pushing it and possibly even having the lead at the quarter pole. And then the simulation odds, it looks like the 3 is 2-1, and the morning line says 6-1. That's a good overlay. And then the 5 horse is the 4-1, and the morning line is 8-1 overlay. So that's not too bad.
Not too bad. What's also not too bad is these opening prices, Charles. The $1 exacta, $37.40. That 50-cent trifecta paid $203.95. Not bad. If you had boxed those 4 picks, the 2, the 7, the 5, the 2, and the 8, for 10 cents superfecta, Charles, it paid $126.32. This has been my frustration lately. I've been on the races. I've just not been able to put the horses the right order and the ticket, which is, of course, the key to the whole game. But, if you get, as Denzel Washington says, you spend enough time around a barbershop, eventually you get a Dumb and Dumber haircut.
That's right.
All right. So race number 8, our last look at the way to the winner's circle worksheet. 7's not in here. The 6 horse is a first-time starter. Really didn't see anything in its workouts that was all that encouraging to me. The 8 horse has run a couple of times. It gets the dreaded NC, so I'm going to X that one out. If it beats me, it's horse racing. You got a couple horses moving down in class. That's the 11 and the 10 horse. Those two are taking a drop in class. When you look at some early speed in here, you do have the 2, the 9, and the 5. They're boxed off. And what's interesting is not only does the 5 have some of the most early speed, it also has the most late speed. So I think you'll see the 2 and the 9 probably break to the lead. The 5 sit right behind him. And when they come out of that turn on the Tapeta, go boom, off to the winner's circle I go. At least that's the way it probably wants to run, Charles. I don't have it necessarily in that order, and nor do you.
No, I think the 2 is the winner in this race. It's got the speed. She's got the speed, and last time out, she ran a very good race. She ran second. Cuts back today, and Luis Saez is the board. So pluses all around for that horse. My second choice here is that 4 horse. This horse ran even last time out, which is okay, and they're going to add the blinkers. So I think they're going to get it to, go a little bit faster, get it a little bit more focused. So, and then Tyler stays on. So that's another plus for this horse. And then the 10 horse is my third choice. This one drops in class, like you stated before. The trainer gets 30% when he drops him down 2+ more levels. Well bred. So this horse has got a lot of pluses for him. And then my price horse will be that 11, hopefully at 12-1. But it's got some of that tactical speed, cuts back in distance, drops in class, but it's got my favorite angle overall. Third start after a layoff.
And you don't have no money left. All right. The last time for me, I like the pink party pants. I'll wear them when we get together with Charles. If we get together down there at Kentucky Downs, something we're working on, but need to get the right contact. This is our good friend Chris Parmalou's favorite angle. Horse finished second last time out with the top last race speed figure. But what's impressive is there's a bullet workout afterwards. The 2 horse will be sharp. The 10 horse, Wolf Riot. Trainer Jose D'Angelo is a winner when he takes a horse down in multiple classes 12 out of 40 times. And this horse was better through the first half mile of its last race. So indication that it might be getting into shape. Number 5 is Wicked Ice. Did run some better fractions last out. Stronger through the last half of its last race. And again, when we looked at the way the race shape looked, that one could get the perfect trip. And then Constitutionalist is your biggest class dropper in here today. Does have a little bit of speed, Charles. And I was thinking of you because it cuts back in distance after showing some speed last time out from a route to a sprint. You mentioned that was one of your favorite angles as well. So, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I'm flattering with you with that, Charles. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta again. 2, 5, 10 with the 210 with the 2, 4, 5, 10, and 11 to finish up our day at Gulfstream Park. Our full picks for the day look like this. Again, the first race went 7, 5, 2, and 8. I almost had it exactly backwards. But if you box them all for that 10-cent trifecta, man, that $1.20 turned into $120. I'll take that all day, any day, and then call it a day.
That's right.
So tomorrow you're off, Charles, because you're going to go celebrate being a grandpa for the 4th time. Again, congratulations on that. And then you won't be here all next week because you're going to be applying a different craft of yours, and that's college basketball out in Vegas. So if you're out in Vegas and you see Charles, make sure you stop by and tell him hi.
Yeah, I'll be at the Circa, watching all the big events all day long, and I'll be there.
Giving out horse racing picks and basketball picks. So
That's
make sure you check that
all
out.
day long, just basketball and horses.
That's a debauchery at its finest, I suppose. At the same time, if you're interested in some basketball plays as they head into the NCAA tournament, our good friend, Professor Sides, his stuff is available down in the description below. Make sure you check him out because, this time of year, there's definitely going to be some value to be found in the NCAA tournament. If you're going to bet tonight while Sean and Julie are talking to our good friend Trevor McCarthy. If you want to have some side bets, then please head on over to a Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You'll see in the description down below a link to Penn National's free picks tonight in race number 1. Celtic Revival, the one horse, is a best bet. So keep that in mind. You can get all that stuff for free and all the day's picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Please use the link down below so they know where it is you are coming from. Charles, that wraps it up for us today. Oh, one final thing. If you win any money and all that kind of good stuff and you want to get yourself a great gift, you can go over to Winning Touches. Again, a link down in the description below. You can also pick yourself up some great Horse Racing Today gear. You'll be your most handsome and beautiful self out in public wearing it. All right, Charles. Any final thoughts before you get up and get out of here today?
No, that's it. Everyone, let's get some money. And I'm going to go, like I said, and hit those get the basketball picks in and some horses and get to see the grandbabies.
Yes, indeed. Sounds like just a fantastic weekend. I'm absolutely envious of you, Charles. I'm going to be green tomorrow when the show begins with Terry and I. We will cover again Gulfstream Park. At the same time, I'm thankful for the tracks moving the start times back a little bit. So we'll kick it off tomorrow at noon again Eastern. You want to tune in for that. Terry and I will decide what track we're going to do on Saturday tomorrow, wherever they have some big stakes races. Tom and I will be back on Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. We're going to do Rose Hill down in Australia. Got a bunch of group races down there. That should be fun to get back to Foreign Fridays. Again, tonight, make sure you join Sean and Julie on Horse Center with our great friend, Trevor McCarthy. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, whether you're going to get on a plane, go off to California, and then go gamble in Vegas, you're going to hit yourself some winners at Gulfstream Park. Just going to sit back at work today and collect some of the boss's money. No matter what it is you're doing, Charles, we hope it ends up in one place, and that can only be
the winner's circle.
Have a great trip, Charles. We'll see you when you get back.
All right, thanks.